Hi friends, I'm Rachna and I'm back with a new lesson. Well, maybe we could learn something new. Perhaps we could learn something new today. Yes, this is what today's lesson is about. You're going to learn how to use perhaps in a sentence. I'm sure you've heard it many times. Yes? So what does perhaps mean? Perhaps is a formal way of saying maybe. And maybe as in one word, maybe. Okay, so sometimes we aren't sure about something, or you want to say there's a possibility, maybe. So when you want to say maybe in a more formal way, you use perhaps. Okay, so perhaps we have met before. I happened to meet John at an exhibition, and well, I couldn't really place him, but I feel that I had seen him before, so I say maybe we have met before. That means perhaps, there is a possibility, I'm not sure. So you use perhaps when you are not certain about something. Okay, so that means maybe we have met before. Perhaps, not too sure. Okay, there were perhaps 350 people at the seminar. Now in this sentence, you can see we're talking about a number. Okay, so you can use perhaps, okay, before a number or an amount that you're not sure of, you're not certain, but perhaps, like maybe about around 350 people. So you use perhaps between an amount or a number that you are not sure of. So I can tell you there were perhaps a dozen children in the queue. Okay, that means around a dozen. I'm not too sure of the exact number, but perhaps a dozen. Okay, so use perhaps before a number or an amount that you are not sure of or that you're not certain about. Okay friends, so remember, you can use perhaps before an amount or a number that you are not sure about. So it's like about 350 people. Okay, now you don't look well, perhaps you should go to the doctor. Now here perhaps, yes, it does mean maybe, but here it's like giving advice or suggestion to someone. So while you don't look well, perhaps you should go to the doctor. So when you want to give advice or suggestions subtly, you don't want to come across very harsh or imposing, say perhaps to lighten it. So perhaps you should go to the doctor. Give advice or suggestion, well, here you may use perhaps. Okay, so remember, when you want to give advice or suggestion, please feel free to use perhaps. Okay, perhaps it would be better if he resigned from his position or from his job. Now we're talking about a friend of mine who's into this kind of mess at work. So I feel personally that it would be better if he resigned. Okay, so this is a conditional sentence. You say if it would be better if he resigned. Okay, but I don't want to be, it may just sound very harsh, like leave your job. So to lighten it, to soften it, of course this is like, maybe he should leave his job, it's better. So for that I use perhaps, and remember, like I always say, it's more formal. Okay, so you don't come across as very harsh, so it's pretty soft. Perhaps it would be better if he resigned from his position. Okay, so definitely it is probably a suggestion, okay, but it's a very subtle one, you're not too harsh, okay. And the last one, it is perhaps not a good idea for a 7-year-old to use a calculator. Well, we all know this. When we were in school, our teachers never allowed us to use calculators. We had to put on our thinking caps and work. Do you remember? Well, I remember my school days. It was so. So it is perhaps you're not too sure, you're not certain. So you say maybe it's not a good idea for a 7-year-old to use a calculator. Not sure, you're not certain, but well, maybe it doesn't sound right for a 7-year-old to use a calculator. So to be formal, use perhaps. Okay, so well, this is how we use perhaps. It is a more formal way of saying maybe. You can use it in front of a number or an amount that you're not too sure of. Okay, we do use it to give advice and suggestion. Even more, to make it very subtle and not sound very harsh, you can use perhaps. Okay, so well friends, this brings me to the end of this lesson. Perhaps you enjoyed watching it. Please do put in your comments and queries. I'll be back soon. Till then, take care and bye.